Genesis 4, two seeds, two ways. Right after the fall, humanity began to show two paths, two seeds, already at work in the world. Cain and Abel were the first example. Abel represented the seed of the woman. He followed God's way, offered what was right, and trusted God's instruction. His life and offering were spirit-led, showing that obedience and faith matter more than effort or personal reasoning. Hebrews 11:4 later confirms this. By faith Abel offered unto God a more excellent sacrifice than Cain. Cain represented the seed of the serpent. He acted from his own ideas, offered what he thought was right, and let anger, pride, and jealousy rule his heart. His life was flesh-led, showing that the heart that resists God will always produce conflict and death. John 8:44 describes this clearly. When Cain killed Abel, the first murder revealed a spiritual truth. Flesh always attacks spirit. Violence, envy, and pride are the tools of the seed of the serpent. Yet even in tragedy, God's plan was not stopped. He preserved the righteous line through Seth, showing that the faithful seed would continue despite human failure. Genesis 4:25-26. Seth and his descendants demonstrate that God's purposes continue even when life seems unfair or chaotic. Life guided by the Spirit leads to worship, hope, and continuity. Life guided by the flesh leads to envy, violence, and unrest. Men began calling on the name of the Lord once again, showing that Spirit-led lives naturally return to God. This spiritual battle, obedience versus rebellion, flesh versus spirit, seed of the woman versus seed of the serpent, is repeated throughout history. Jesus later made this explicit when he confronted the Pharisees, exposing the same spiritual lineage. He said, "They are of your father the devil, and the lusts of your father you will do." He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth. John 8:44. Just like Cain, the Pharisees rejected God's truth, trusted their own reasoning, and attacked those who followed God's ways. Their hearts were flesh-led. Their lives bore the mark of the seed of the serpent, rebellion, pride, and hostility toward God's chosen. Abel's story and the warning of Cain illustrate a principle that flows through all Scripture. God values obedience, faith, and alignment with His Word above all else. Sin may seem hidden or justified, but it cannot hide from God. Blood, injustice, and evil always testify, and God always preserves His seed. Genesis 4 also reminds us that God's purpose cannot be canceled by human failure. Even when Cain's sin brought death, God continued His plan through Seth, the faithful seed. The lesson echoes in the New Testament. Christ, the ultimate seed of the woman, was slain, yet His blood brings salvation and restoration for all who believe. Hebrews 12:24. In every generation, the battle continues. Flesh-led lives imitate Cain, opposing God, fueled by pride, envy, and rebellion. Spirit-led lives imitate Abel, honoring God, guided by faith, obedience, and worship. The story of Genesis 4 is not only history, it is a blueprint for understanding spiritual warfare, human choice, and God's unwavering purposes. God's lesson is clear. Obedience, faith, and alignment with Him always bear fruit, while disobedience and pride destroy. The world will always see the struggle of these two seeds, but those who choose the Spirit-led life walk in hope, worship, and continuity with God's plan. If you're inspired by this story and want to hear more like it, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Yomi, inspired for more uplifting and thought-provoking content.